So it is currently, I think like 6:30, 6:35 in the morning, and I have just begun my ascent to Delicate Arch here in Arches National. We might get lost, it's dark, but we're here early to beat the crowds and possibly see the sunrise. So here we go. Hey everyone, I'm Louie. My dog William and I have been living in a van off and on for a little over 2 years now. So far we have adventured through 21 states and 3 Canadian provinces. We've climbed, hiked, and have met a bunch of awesome nomads along the way. After a few months break living in a house through the beginning of the pandemic, we have built out a whole new van and hit the road again. This time, caravanning with my mom and her pup Lady. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to find out where we end up each week. The Colorado Plateau, which covers the 4 corners of Utah, Arizona, Colorado, and New Mexico, is distinct in its colors and majestic rock formations. It is characterized by a high desert biome, its slot canyons, reefs, domes, dino tracks, and natural bridges, just to name a few. This section of the plateau is a great area to explore as a nomad or vehicle dweller because 90% of the land in this area is managed by the Bureau of Land Management, thus allowing you to have many places to explore and camp out for free. It is conveniently located close to the town of Moab, Arches National, and Canyonlands National Park. The sunrises and sunsets are like no other, and the feeling that this place has millions of years of history is hard to ignore. In this video, we will be focusing on the history and geology of Arches National Park and the indigenous people that were stewards of this land. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy. Almost there! Yay! You might be wondering how the heck this world-renowned arch that you can find on pretty much every Utahns license plate was formed. Most of the rocks and cliffs, etc. in this area are made up of sandstone. It is a sedimentary rock composed of sand-sized grains of mineral rock or organic material. There is a matrix of clay-sized particles that are between the sand grains holding it all together. Delicate Arch was formed from the movement of salt beds below and the erosion that occurred from water, ice, and wind, slowly chipping away to create this and many of the other formations in this area. So we're back in the van now. I am so exhausted from that hike. It's not even 10 o'clock yet, and I am just already thinking about taking a nap now. But I saw this recipe for homemade cinnamon rolls on the road that I will link. It's by another van dweller, and it inspired me to get my own roll of cinnamon rolls, not from scratch, and try and cook them over a butane stove like she did. And so far it looks really good. I think it's just gonna be like a giant bread of cinnamon bread thing, so that's kind of cool. I'm gonna take an hour nap and then continue to record this video because I'm schlepped right now, and William schlepped. Took him out for a little mini walk, and we're both just like, wow, we woke up way too early. But oh my gosh, it was so worth it. If you're gonna come to a national park and there's a specific hike you really want to do that's really popular, I highly recommend going early in the morning because 1, you get the sunrise, and 2, there are just less people. There were a ton of people there still, but on my way down, I passed so many people. It was ridiculous. So it's just amazing how like vast and big and the world is and like nature is. It's amazing. Y'all, I'm so excited. I made cinnamon rolls. Oh my god, I made them. Oh my. William's in the background just snoring. All right, I'm gonna take one of these out and tell y'all if it cooked all the way, which I think it did. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Gotta get that aesthetic plate. Y'all, I made cinnamon rolls on a butane stove, y'all. Let's give it a try. I'm just gonna get in here. My hands. The bottom's a little crunchy, but a little burnty crunch, but it's not bad. From my limited reading, I understand that no land was ever owned by Native Americans, but instead they were stewards of these sacred lands. Arches National is especially interesting because the Pueblo Osuni, the Hopi, Southern Ute, Unta, Ore, Paiute, and the Kaibab band of Paiute tribes all respected these formations as sacred spaces that were used as a ceremonial area for those who lived in the Moab Valley. The arches are portals in space and time, while the rock spires are sentient beings that provide help to people. The La Salle Mountains that can be seen from Arches National are important because the mountains are home to spirits and sacred beings. Viewing the mountains through the arches is extremely important to Native peoples. I have finally found a spot in the park where there aren't a ton of people. There's still a ton of people over here, but I just feel this need to be really quiet when I'm around all of these beautiful rock formations. They just seem so massive and like ancient, and like they feel like they have a meaning greater to them in hippie talk, as some of my friends would say. But it's just, I don't know, they're huge, and I don't know, it gets me thinking about what maybe the Native people probably thought of these beautiful formations, like this beautiful artwork that Mother Nature created. I don't know. They're just so giant. They just make you feel so small too. Just feel so tiny when I'm around them. And tiny and insignificant. And a little bit, I feel like an ant around them. I just feel like I'm just a blimp in this world. I'm a blimp in their world. I don't know, it's really cool. And I just keep thinking about the indigenous people and what they probably meant to them. I mean, maybe similar to what we feel about them today, but on a whole new level, a different respect for them than most people have. So yeah, I want to keep walking around. Though Native Americans never lived inside the park, once you learn the importance of this area to these tribes, it's hard to forget that Westerners have wrongfully claimed this land. And yeah, I'm grateful to be able to explore this beautiful park that is protected by the US government, but there is a sorrow I feel for the Native people of this region, and I almost feel guilty to be reaping the benefits of this land without the recognition that the Native peoples of this region deserve. So here we are, second hike of the day. Hopefully this recording isn't too windy, but we are on Park Avenue. There is a beautiful canyon here, and I decided that I wanted to hike this at or around near sunset for the lighting. I'm starting to learn that the best lighting is sunrise and sunset. Who would have known? And trying to wake up and go out and do stuff during sunset and sunrise more. Because it's just so beautiful. And it's quiet here. I think there's one person behind me, but there aren't too many people here right now. So that is nice. I have water. I have a headlamp just in case it gets dark. And I have my cell phone, so we're good. Let's see how far this thing goes. Alright, I hope you didn't think you would get through this video without a little history of how this park was formed geologically and historically. So we know that the arches and spires are made up of sandstone that has been eroded enigmatically over time. But what about these giant canyons and cliffs? 65 million years ago, all of this land was covered in water. It was a seabed. Over time, the earth shifted and all of the sandstone was pushed together and expanded again. This caused fractures that water was able to erode. Water is the main factor in this area that form and shape the rock. All of these rocks are ever-changing and probably won't look the same in 1,000 years or even 100 years from now. Being out here, every time I go outdoors or to a new national park, I'm like, what would it be like to be a Native American? There's no people around other than other Native Americans, no colonizers, and you're just exploring and like living out in this nature, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I can't camp here, I can't go here, I can't do that. Land isn't owned by anybody. And it kind of makes me a little sad because I just wish that I could have that life. I wish that there weren't societal norms of the fact that like living like you're camping all the time would be super dirty and you'll be a super unsuccessful person. I don't know. If it were up to me, I would definitely just roam land forever. Me and William, we'd pack a bag in a tent and we'd learn how to forage, learn how to hunt, mostly fish because I don't really like killing large animals. But, you know, when you gotta do what you gotta do to survive, you'll do it. So, going on hikes and stuff makes me really wish that that was the reality and that we didn't know any difference between civilization and nature kind of thing. I just feel like my whole self when I'm outdoors. Like all my anxiety and stress goes away. Catch me in the woods for 30 years. You never see me again after this video. I also want to say that obviously there would be other stresses and anxieties if I was a Native person just roaming North America, and there's obviously things that would be different stressors. So grass is greener on the other side always, but I don't know. There's just something about nature that pulls the authentic me out, makes me the person that I want to be, and helps me chill out and just really respect and be humble for what kind of being I am. I'm a human, and that's all I am. Just a tiny human in this large universe, walking around. Okay, now back to my hippie talk. The idea of harnessing a wilderness area and making it park-like is essentially a Western idea. I mean, the US is the first country to have ever established a national park in the first place. So when President Hoover reserved the area to be a monument, and then in 1971 Congress changed it to an official national park, it is not surprising that many rules and regulations were put in place to protect it. I just can't seem to shake this idea that things are just so controlled in the US. I 100% understand why, but it also can be so limiting. And don't even get me started on how all of this money spent to enter and buy things within the park is harvested by the US government without a penny going to the native tribes. Anyways, I digress. What is your opinion on the matter? Don't forget to leave your thoughts and comments down below. And just like that, I had spent sunrise to sunset in Arches National Park, leaving fairly existential, but also reset and ready to go about life from a different perspective. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you liked this type of vlogumentary style video, let me know and maybe I will make more. See you in the next one, fam. Bye!